Starts in Marinette's room. During the day, Marinette and Alia in their pajamas are looking at a two-column table. Alia uses a ruler to point to the photos in the left column. So, the former holder was known as Hawkmoth, then Shadowmoth, and finally Monarch. We know that he has been defeated and the Miraculous has a new holder. And what we know about this new holder is, Alia points to the column on the right, it's empty. Marinette holds her head with both hands, completely dejected. Nothing. We know nothing. It's even worse than before. Alia joins Marinette on the edge of the bed. It's not that bad. We didn't know anything about Monarch either, and yet he was defeated. Marinette looks at her friend, devastated. That's not true. We knew many things about the Monarch. They're just not listed on the board. Next, we have the second script, which also takes place during the day but at Adrian's room. Marinette comes down from the mezzanine, anxious. Hello Marinette, I'm so happy to see you. Marinette jumps up and turns around. Luca is on a giant screen staring at her, smiling from ear to ear. Oh, Luca! The image of the boy takes over the whole room, standing in front of the screen. Adrian looks tiny. Marinette joins him. How are things between you two? Luca asks. Adrian is all smiles and says, things are great. Thanks Luca, glad to hear it. Marinette can't sit still. Yes, I'm also very happy that you've been connected and that we too are connected. We're all connected and everything's fine. Well, everything's fine and everything's fine, but emotions make me hungry. I'll make myself a sandwich, Marinette says. Adrian smiles at Marinette's actions, but Luca seems a little disappointed to see her leaving so soon. Don't wait for me, you don't have much time to rehearse, and we need to be ready if you want Miss Boustier's surprise to be perfect. Marinette leaves the room, passing Ivan. That wraps up the scripts for now. Let's move on to the spoilers. We'll meet Adrian will also be interested in a new sport, running, as the season 6 trailer suggests. And finally, new students will be joining Francois Dupont High School. This may seem obvious, but what they probably mean is that we'll meet new recurring characters. The first script has Marinette and Alia talking about the new holder of the butterfly Miraculous. They don't know anything about her, which is interesting because it reminds me of season 2 episode 1 The Collector. In that episode, Ladybug was investigating the real identity of Hawkmoth. I hope that season 6 builds on this plotline more than just dropping it in one episode. It would be great to see our characters actually get more details before they realize that the new villain is actually closer to them than they thought. The next script follows Luca, Adrian, and Marinette as Luca rehearses with his friends for a surprise for Mrs. Boustier, who is now the mayor of Paris. Given that Ivan is there, it seems like Luca either came back for kitty section or is there to watch the rehearsals. Some people have said that this scene is a return of the triangle trope between Adrian, Luca, and Marinette. It's similar to the return of this trope with Kagami back in season 5. However, I believe it's just a platonic reaction. With more context, we will realize more. Just a heads up, Luca knows who Ladybug and Cat Noir are, so he knows more than anyone in the series that they're meant for each other. Let's move on to the spoilers. I'll start with the new students at Francois Dupont High School, with the whole French miracle box being disputed to Marinette's classmates, and since we are getting introduced to new recurring characters, I hope we will be able to also be introduced to new Miraculouses, especially the North American miracle box. There's a lot of lore to be explored on that side. I also hope we get to see the other characters grow and develop, rather than just seeing them as potential that has been lost, like Nathaniel and Mark. I'd like to see more of them, not just their association with Adrianette. The show might start to focus more on Adrian, his grandparents, and his new interest in sports, which could help us understand more about his character than we did in previous seasons. Since Nathalie is going to develop as a character, it seems likely that Adrian will grow as a character too, in tandem with her. As for his grandparents, it really depends on which side of the family we're talking about. If they're Adrian's dads, I think it would be a great time to introduce them. We know Gabriel changed his name, so we can explore more of his past. If they're his moms, I can't believe we didn't meet them back in Felix, 1 year after his mom disappeared. Either way, it'd be great to explore more of Adrian's family, especially his moms, to add depth to his character and the lore because of their connection to the Miraculouses.